Hey everyone, welcome to Let the Light in TV. I'm Craig Christoffersen and I'm here with the 7Artisans 50mm T2.0 Cine lens. Now this is the 85 that I'm holding. It is identical to the 50mm, which is on camera. I want you to see what it looks like. So we're shooting at T5.6, just so you know. I've got the 85mm in hand just to show you. They are essentially identical. This one's just a little bit longer. All right, getting into it. So Cine lenses, we've got the 50 on the camera, we've got the 85 here. There's also a 35mm that is sold, and they are full frame lenses. They are available on the Sony E, the Canon R, the Lumix L, and the Nikon Z mounts. So again, they are full frame cameras. And if you just want the 50mm, just the 50 that we're talking about today, that's gonna run you $379 US. If you want the full kit, it's going to be $1,257 US. Now, let's get into the lens. We've got 270 degrees of focus throw. So if you're going to make a focus rotation, if this is on the camera body, that's gonna be a lot of wrist action. Obviously you can't do that, so you're probably gonna need something to help you with focus throws if you're going far enough. If it's something that's just small, a small focus change in distance, then you will be able to do that by hand. But if it's anything from near to far, you're gonna have to have something to aid you. Let's talk more about the aperture ring and the focus ring. So it is a declicked aperture and focus ring. Obviously these are Cine lenses. You want some nice smooth rotation. And the good news is that these do provide a nice, smooth, consistent rotation. It's ensuring that your focus racking, your aperture racking is going to be nice and even throughout the entire process. Of course, the aperture rotation is a whole lot smaller than the focus rotation. But the nice thing about having such a great focus rotation, 270 degrees of it, the nice thing about that is that it's gonna give you precision. It's gonna be able to let you hit your mark. So, there's pros and cons on both ends of that. Now, both rings are geared, and so if you wanna use something, follow focus device, and they are set up for that. And not only are both the aperture and the focus ring geared, but throughout the entire set, through the 35, 50, and 85, they are all placed within the exact same location. So you don't have to do any finagling around. It's gonna be easy setup whenever you switch out a lens. Just one last little thing, the aperture ring goes from T2 to T16 on the 50 and 85mm lenses. Let's talk about chromatic aberrations though. They are present. You can see the magenta and the green hues popping up in outlines. You can see them popping up in bokeh balls. It's not excessive, but they are present, especially when you are at T2. So as with pretty much every lens, if you want to be able to control that, just close down. Once you get to about T4, then you're gonna be just fine. So chromatic aberrations, they're not bad, but they are present. So depending on what you are used to using, that'll place your judgment as to whether the chromatic aberrations are acceptable or not. Minimum focus distance is 0.48 meters, which is 1.5 feet. As far as build quality goes, these are an all metal design, so it's metal and glass, and that's all that you get. They are weighty, that makes them weighty, but they are well built. These come in at 793 grams of weight, a little bit of a heavy hitter here. The filter size is 82 millimeters. Focus breathing, here's the test, let's run it. As you can see, there is a little bit of focus breathing present. So as we go, you can see the edge of the frame of the doorway will pop in as we reach infinity and past infinity. So you'll see the edge of the doorway, the door frame. Watch for that white line on the right-hand side of the screen. You'll see that does pop into view. And as we bring the focus rotation all the way back to 0.45 meters, you'll see the door frame is out of view. You won't be able to see it any longer. So what that is telling us is that things are breathing. They're moving in and out a little bit as we rotate our focus ring. So it's not excessive, it's not extreme, but it is present. So there is a little bit of focus breathing there, although it's minimum. Lens flares. Here's some examples. You know, we're shooting straight up into the sun, some leaves, some branches in between, but overall, it does give us a nice sun star as well when we're closed all the way down to T16. So kind of, if we're gonna wrap everything up here, what we're seeing is, yes, it does have flaws and errors along the way, but within each and kind of every single one of those, again, this all depends on your viewpoint and what kind of expensive lens you are using. Overall, it does have flaws kind of in each category, but within the flaws in each category, they're not excessive. They are generally quite acceptable. And so I think what we're looking at here as far as the Cine lens goes is it's well constructed. It's got a nice open aperture of T2, so come with that chromatic aberration fringing, but they're not terrible. They are acceptable. And what I have been using these lenses for is actually for product shots. You'll probably notice if you've been a consistent viewer, the product shots have changed in the way that I'm shooting them. And I've really loved these lenses for product shots. You can see from the image gallery that has probably been playing throughout the video, this lens does produce some nice shots. And what I've been really happy about is getting that nice depth of field, you know, opening the aperture up, getting the nice depth of field, and having the subject still very sharply in focus. So I've been happy with using them. I've been happy in the mode of operation that I've been using them. They're a little bit heavy, but hey, it's a cinema lens. So what are you gonna do? Overall, it has its little flaws. Is it acceptable? Are those little flaws acceptable for you, or is it a little too much? That is something only you can decide. I hope I have provided enough visual examples for you to reach that decision. That is all that I have for you today. If you want a more in-depth review and a insight into how these lenses prove to operate within the realm of purely photography, here is Dustin Abbott's channel. Go ahead, check out his review. He's gonna dig into MDF charts and all that kind of stuff. So if you wanna check that out, that is there for you. If you deem that this lens is acceptable and you would like to purchase it, the link is down below. Go ahead and check that out. Other than that, have a wonderful day. Get out there, enjoy the sun. We're coming up to spring, depending on where you live. Hey, I'm enjoying it. Have a wonderful day. Remember to let the light in. Take care.